Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the LG 27GN650. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But let's get this thing unboxed. Let me just pull my pocket knife out right here. And as you can see right here, it says front, so you always want to open it on the other side. Now opening this up, what the 650 does give you is a very, very nice stand. Now this is LG's signature, super nice, adjustable, tilt, clip-in, lock-in stand. Really nice. And here is the bottom. It has two thumb screws. These are high quality thumb screws, so you can just screw it right into the base by placing it and lining everything up. Just like that, and then just screwing each one of these in. Now we got that all screwed in and ready to be installed. Also in the box, we have the charging cable and a DisplayPort cable, and then some of the manuals and things right there. All right, and then lifting this out, we have the actual monitor right here. Now to get this installed, I just pull back the plastic right there, lock it in on the top first, and then all you have to do is that, and it's fully locked in. All right, now as you can see for the stand, we have quite a bit of height adjustability. It's very easy as well. This is a really easy and polished stand. Then we have tilt, quite a bit of tilt. And then we even have full rotation, so it can go completely 90 degrees. That's huge, especially if you're a coder. All right, now besides that for ports, we have two HDMIs, a DisplayPort, a 3.5mm audio out, and then that is the power right there. But let's get this thing hooked up and get an initial impressions for gaming, and we're gonna do a ghosting test. All right, right away, turning this thing on, we do have the controller under here, which is really nice. Just press it once, and there we go. Okay, so jumping right into the settings, we're gonna go down here. We have a bunch of initial modes. Let's go right over into the menu system. We have a couple of different presets right there. Gamer 1, Gamer 2, which you can see is a whole lot more vibrant. FPS, RTS, Vivid, Reader, HDR, Effect. I'm gonna just go up and hit to Gamer 2. That's one looks best to me. And then we're gonna go down to Game Adjust, and you can turn on different settings with your adaptive sync and black stabilizer, your response time settings right here. Typically fast is probably going to be the best, but we're gonna test that at the end of the video. And then down here to picture settings, we have brightness right here, which is at 100%. It's pretty nice and bright, I would say. But again, check the full review for all the specs and stats and overall recommendations. So subscribe below because it'll be coming very, very soon. Yeah, this is an absolutely fantastic menu system, the best one in the game. But let's launch up some Halo and see how this thing games. All right, guys, jumping right in game. First thing I noticed is obviously this is a 1080p 27-inch monitor, so not the highest PPI in the world. However, actually in game, the amount that we notice it is pretty negligible. I would say it's obviously really nice to have 1440p, and that's something that I daily drive, so I definitely notice this for sure. However, if you're a console player, if you want to use this with like an Xbox or something else like that, that's absolutely huge. It makes it also easier to run things. And I would say in game, I mean, you can see this actually looks quite nice. The colors are nice and vivid. It's pretty bright, not the brightest out there, but again, for the money, I think this is like 250 bucks right now. Typically, I think retails for 300, but I think we see it mostly for around that $250 price tag, which is very respectable. Now, the 24-inch version of this was one of my most recommended. In fact, it was my most recommended 24-inch gaming monitor, which is absolutely huge. This one is basically the same panel, so you get all of the same stuff, but it's 27 inches for 45, 50 bucks more. You get super smooth 144 hertz. It's easy to get those high frames because again, you only have to push those 1080p. You don't have to push 1440p, which for if you have a smaller rig or if you want to use an Xbox Series S or even a PS5 with this, the PS5 can only output 4K and 1080p, you won't be wasting any resolution. So this could be great if you want to switch between, maybe you have like a normal laptop for school and then you want to have a PS5 or an Xbox Series S. Something like that will be absolutely huge and a really good setup. But yeah, overall you can see it's nice and bright, not insanely bright, but again, we've got a lot of lights in this room right now, so that is quite respectable. The vibrancy is good with the yellows, with the reds. It is a very pretty panel. And you get this LG polishedness. I mean, the stand is really well designed. Thin bezels all the way around. You can see, if we go over to the menu, we can actually see how the different, they call them game modes. These are really picture settings. You can see the greens right here. Keep an eye on that. The FPS is a little bit more washed out. RTS is a little bit more saturated. I kind of like that. The Vivid is nice, although I think I prefer something like the RTS. But then you can see they have Reader for the low stuff. And then the HDR effect is actually quite nice. We're going to keep it in that. As you can see, very vibrant, nice and pretty. And even if you are in game, you wanted to turn up something like the saturation, you can see very fast to do. The brightness or contrast, you can turn that up in game. Most of this stuff you have to be in gamer 1 or 2 to adjust most of it. But you can see most of this stuff is very easy to actually adjust actually in game, which is huge. And that's just part of what LG gives you. Now I will say, obviously, if we zoom in here, we can see with things like the grass right here, you can see pixels a little bit, especially if you're closer up here. Because again, remember the PPI is 1080p at 27 inches. So yes, you are not gonna have the clearest picture ever, but what you do gain is that refresh rate. You're probably gonna be able to hit those really high frames all the time because of that resolution. I always say, if you're a gamer, go for frames rather than resolution 9 times out of 10. But yeah, overall, pretty impressed about what I expected from this monitor for gaming. But let's go ahead and do the ghosting test, see how good this thing is. Or bad, but hopefully good. All right, so right here in the ghosting test, I know you're not gonna be able to see this. Again, watch the review if you actually wanna see a correct screen of this ghosting test. But let's go in here right now. Right away, I think this is on fast, quite good. Basically no ghosting, a teeny little trail, but nothing that you're really going to notice. So let's go over to your response time. It's on fast. We're gonna set it on to off, which I always thought was very funny. And you can see in off, there is some ghosting, nowhere near what most VA panels have though, so still quite good. In normal, it decreases it a little bit. In fast, it's basically gone the tiniest amount. You could never really notice this in game, even at a competitive level. Then we turn it to fast, and you can see, oh my God, it is awful. If I follow it, you can actually see what it looks like for me, and that is just awful. So if you wanna do this, make sure, go over here, response time, the only one you should ever set it in is fast right there. That one is perfect. As you can see here, really, really, really good. So overall, from the first impressions, I am pretty impressed about what I expected, which is a really good thing. Again, if you wanna check this monitor out, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But especially if you have a less powerful rig, or if you want to switch between a console and this is something that's a great thing to do that with. But again, subscribe below for the full review. This was Type C Tech Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.